Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and we are getting together for this month's Venus Circle, where our focus is reclamation in Aries at the throat chakra. This is a powerful time to connect. We are winding down this Venus and Capricorn cycle and about to initiate one in Leo, so this is all really important work as we come toward the root chakra and bring something into form by July, August of this year. But first, let's anchor and unify the circle. Everyone relax into your space, allowing another minute or so for people to get here. So excited about our special guest tonight. Marion Kelly is with us, waiting in the wings. So just let go of everything else for this 1 hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes, depending on how juicy we get. Open to receive that which is just for you. Call in your own guides, as I call in our benevolent angels and loving ancestors, personal animal guides, and helping spirits to be with us today. We each have a powerful invisible team of support, and it's even more potent when we bring them together like this. So I want you to take an initial breath, deep cleansing breath. Try to do it to the count of 4. Breathe in to 4, breathe out to 4. And just make that connection above, below, and at the heart. Deep breath in. And hold and release. And I want you to start at your heart chakra, feeling that opening, expansion, breathing as if you're breathing through and from your heart. If you can, conjure the most joyous feeling you can conjure in this moment. I usually picture an 18-month-old baby frolicking at the ocean. It seems like they know. It seems like they remember. I can't help but smile. My heart just opens up. So whatever does it for you, flowers, animals, crystals, open that heart up. We're going to take a deep breath as an initiation point and where we access the inner wisdom of the mind and the element of air. I want you to picture a beautiful emerald green crystal infused with light from within and spinning brightly. Take a deep breath in right at your heart chakra. Deep breath in. And hold and release. Come on down to your power center, where we honor the direction of south, a culmination point, and where we access the inner wisdom of the spirit and the element of fire. So here I want you to picture your favorite shade of yellow crystal infused with light from within and spinning brightly. And take a deep cleansing breath in at your power center. Deep breath in. And hold and release. Come on down to your creative center, your sacral chakra, where we honor the direction of the west, a completion point, and where we access the inner wisdom of the soul and the element of water. Here I want you to picture your favorite shade of orange crystal infused with light from within and spinning brightly. Open up that creative center, make that connection to your own flow. Deep breath in. And hold and release. Come on down to the root chakra, where we honor the direction of north, a conception point, and where we access the inner wisdom of the body and the element of earth. Be here now. I want you to picture a beautiful ruby red crystal, or your favorite shade of red, infused with light from within and spinning brightly. And let's connect to that root. And take a deep cleansing breath in. And hold and release. Okay, welcome everyone. I am so excited. I love Aries. I have 5 planets in Aries, not Venus like Marion, who's with us today. But I do have a lot of Aries, so this new beginning is very big. We are going to dive in Ooh, first of all, we usually start the Venus Circle with a little bit of a review. And whether you're with us or not, or following along or not, or know anything about the Venus Circle or not, because I did open up to the Power Circle community and invited everyone in today, it doesn't matter. You've been affected. You've been navigating this same energy with Venus all along the way. You too got a reset in your Capricorn department at the beginning of 2022. We went through 9 months of release. Everyone can feel it if you track back. And now as of October, November, we went forward reclaiming. And so chakra by chakra, we started the root and ended the root. So we pull out from the root, we release all the way up to the crown with a purified connection to our soul star and higher self. And then we bring that back in all the way down from the crown with a pure vision into form that we'd like to have by July. So we're thinking about that. Last month specifically, Venus and Moon connected in Aquarius at the third eye, and we reclaimed a new vision and unique genius, and we were solidifying things related to our freedom and individuality. So I don't know about y'all, but I heard from a number of various sources, like very diverse sources, not connected in any way, shape, or form, how some of that Scorpio last quarter moon just over the weekend was just the endings. There were these huge endings going on. So there's this place where we're getting to with Aquarius and Uranus, when we crack open to a new level, there's no going back. So it is like a certain part of yourself dies and goes away and is not coming back. It's a good thing. We don't want to mourn that death. That's a good death. That's like the compost and rebirthing in the garden. Now we're rebirthing another layer of individuality so that we can be free. We've been through a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually over the last 2 to 4 years. So a lot of things are just starting to even make sense after the break to realign we've gone through socially and collectively. And no one is exempt. But think about how many people changed their jobs and their careers or their purpose over the last couple of years and woke up to that, right? So now what do we do with that? And as we segue, you notice we're skipping from Aquarius to Aries, no Pisces. So we're going straight from that new vision and activating our true individuality into let's get started. Let's get this party started for real. So this month we're reclaiming at the throat chakra, which is our voice, our authentic voice. And we're reclaiming a new identity, drives, and desires. We've all been reset, inside, outside, upside down. And we're solidifying self-preservation and direction. So with Aries, it's like choose a direction, take a step, make a move, and let's see what happens when we get there. It's about getting things started. It's not about finishing, and it's not about maintaining at this moment. At this moment, this month, we're all tapping in to the first next step, whatever that is for you, the individual. So our theme this month, of course, is the Aries throat chakra. But our archetype is the seeker, and our task, number 4, is facing the wild hag. So we're going to get into that part of the story. It's so juicy. This month is all about beginning to really express your new values and priorities in your everyday life, as well as with your exchanges with others. Okay, see how when you change, everyone around you has to change or go away. We've made some shifts in who we are and what we want, and now the folks around us have to adapt and adjust. Because this activation is in Aries, it is all about your identity and purpose. It is about who you are and what you want here and now today, which is very different from 9 months ago, let alone 8 years ago, okay? The last time Venus had a cycle through Capricorn was 2013 and 14. So you can think back to 8 years ago and what was going on with your roles and responsibilities, what was going on with your relationships, and fast forward how you'd like to reset that, because now she's run a full 8-year cycle. The 9 months ago is from the release work. Everything is kind of 9 months apart. We release and reclaim, and that's part of that rhythm we get in with Venus. You have evolved over that time, so how you think and express yourself now will illuminate the hard-earned growth and development you've experienced during this cycle. It is time to get things started by beginning to express your new creative ideas, negotiating new terms with others, and maintaining better boundaries privately and publicly. Okay? We're moving toward manifestation, so now is the time when you begin to ignite your passion and enlist the energy and support that you need for whatever you would like to have in form by July. Okay, so where are we now? We're in 2, going to 7. That's about 5 months. The Seeker archetype asks you to have a beginner's mind as you practice expressing this new voice and viewpoint. Even though you have learned a great deal over the last year or so, you are still new to expressing it in an exchange of ideas or information with others. That will require you to be a good listener and continue to be a good student of life. This archetype asks you to allow your innocent child heart to guide you as you navigate new terrain. Be open and receptive, yet alert and proactive on your own behalf. This energy activates your inner student and teacher, so practice knowing when to learn and when to teach. The light work of this archetype is expand and express natural curiosity and desire to learn the truth. Okay, think of that child that Aries represents. You know, most children don't have the isms until we impose on them. You know, they come out, everything's an opportunity. Anything's possible. I can go play over here and have a new adventure. That's where we're at with Aries this month, is how can we look at things through new eyes, not through our experiences, not through our filters, which may need a little cleansing, not through others' filters either, right? This month will also fortify the connection to your sound body and throat chakra. So we're working through sound healing this month. Is going to be really good. Initiating and reclaiming your inner authority to express your true essence and to allow your soul self to lead and the ego to follow. You are coming into your own by this time, hopefully getting more comfortable with making new choices or expressing in new ways. You've done so much release work and healing soul work that will serve 7 generations past and future, that you are now free to express your own next higher level. Deep breath. Okay, so also in Aries, any planets that come back to Aries is a clean slate, rebirth kind of time. What do you want to be a voice for? What have you longed to express but never felt strong enough to handle until now? You now know what is you and what was inherited or conditioned within you, and you are stronger navigating your own path so that you can now express more personal authenticity, which will allow you to naturally develop better boundaries with others. Okay, so you're going to learn as you start to express new aspects of yourself how that affects the people around you and what adjustments need to be made in that case. All right, everyone, this is the monthly meditations that came to me. Spirit gave me a whole list of things we can work on this month. The ability to be completely self-sufficient, being prepared and present is part of this Aries energy as well. Also, just part of that independence piece where it doesn't mean that you don't have people or need people or want people in your life, but you're completely self-sufficient. So a lot of times I tell people with strong Aries energy, you need help, you deserve help, you're not going to get it because that's not the Aries path. The Aries path is do it yourself. Don't even wait for nobody. Just go, and they'll get there. And that's how you sort of have to roll sometimes. We're also reclaiming the ability to respond instinctively in the moment. You know, there's all these little play on words, response able, right? Able to respond, responsible for self and your creative babies. Because remember now, throat chakra is part of your self-expression and your creativity. It's an important chakra to work on. We're also reclaiming an evolved expression of your identity and purpose. So you may not be giving up the whole purpose altogether, but you're going to a new level with it. You're expressing a new aspect of it. Let's call that in. We're reclaiming the true self is, by definition, grounded, protected, and comfortable in your own skin. That's the true self. We love them. We want them to feel strong. But in order to do that, we have to be grounded and feel self-contained. We're like protected and comfortable in your own skin. So we're definitely reclaiming that at a new level. Complete independence, sovereignty, and, again, fully able to respond. It's just part of that whole package of being independent. An evolved purpose, time to add passion and play to the purpose, okay? So if you don't know what your purpose is yet, then we got to talk about that separately. But assuming that you have an idea about what your purpose is, now how can you add some passion and heart and playfulness and innocence We want to be inspired, fired up from within. Again, we're activating that spark of life, that fire that energy represents. Part of the reason I used a fire picture in the email instead of an Aries symbol, because I want us to really connect to that source of passion and play within us. And the last one is embody, embrace, express your new identity and purpose. So we got to start practicing, y'all, especially if you do want things in form or active or launched or ready to go to be with others by late summer, early fall. So we got to start practicing now in baby step kind of ways in order to get there. And that's a perfect entree for Miss Marion Kelly from empoweredgrowth.co.uk, because she is in London, England, well, somewhere near London. Come on in and introduce yourself, darling, and I will mute so that the recording is clean. Okay.
So, thank you so much, Kelly. And ironically, my last name is Kelly, so we knew we were bonded from the get-go, really. So, I am the founder and lead coach of Empowered Growth. And I just want to take the opportunity to really thank Kelly for this platform. You know, she leads with purpose and vision, and she has created something that really enables us to have a roadmap on how we can not just be an outsider and a spectator to our evolution, but we actually are in the driving seat and taking a commanding and active role within it, which definitely fits in with the themes and purpose of what we're doing today. So I give thanks to you, Kelly. Much honor and respect. So a little bit about me. My spiritual journey started about 15 years ago. I was experiencing and recovering from a lot of negative cycles in my life and a lot of trauma, but for some reason it was like, you know, my foot was stuck in the mud. I was trying to pull it out, but something kept keeping me in it, and I just felt like, you know, what's life about? You know, is it really about this? And really at that moment when I was kind of down and out and I didn't really know how to move forward or where to go, I really was able to access that inner part of myself and that inner voice that said, you know, you weren't created for this. You know, we didn't create you to suffer, to mess around, to make mistakes all the time. You've got a greater purpose. And it was a real eye-opening moment for me, because I just genuinely never thought that before then, up until that point. I was in my early 20s, so go easy on me. I thought a lot of things in my early 20s. So yeah, it was the start of a beautiful journey, but it really ignited the passion within me that when I see other people, it's a divine right that we should all have access to our inner power and our inner being and our inner purpose. It's literally everybody should have access to running water. I feel like everybody should have access to how to access and engage with yourself in a positive, proactive, and empowering way. So as I thought about today and some of the points that were coming up for us, I really wanted to ask myself, okay, so what does it mean to really be present in our lives? What does it really mean to show up in our lives in a positive way? Because I think as spiritual people, we're meditating, we're doing our rituals, we're doing that, but life is busy, it's hectic, we've got 101 things that are breathing down on us at any point in time, and it's really how do we start to really reclaim our power in a positive way where we are showing up for ourselves and really listening to that inner voice and accessing it in a real, honest way. So what I find being present means to me is it's really about being present for you right here, right now, no matter what the moment is offering you. So a lot of people, you know, that I've heard of, not in this group because we're all evolved, you know, think, you know, we're on the spiritual path, our lives are going to be free of all pain, right? And that we're just going to be floating on a cloud, and that's not the purpose. We have to show up for ourselves even when it's difficult. So it's about accessing the here and now, even when we're in the midst of the storm, and trusting in ourselves and having that knowledge in ourselves that we can be here, that we have the strength, we have the backbone, be it from our ancestors, our spiritual practice, to weather that storm, and not only weather it, but elevate ourselves within that process. So to me, true knowledge of the self and expression of ourselves requires us to really sit with ourselves with the absence of judgment. So we can sit with ourselves, but can we really sit with ourselves and not judge ourselves, be that positive or negative? Can we just sit in that moment and just bear witness to who we are? So if I'm angry right now, I'm not going to be trying to, push that down because, I shouldn't be an angry person. Equally, I'm not going to pour petrol on it because that's not really productive either. We're not going down that route. But it is about acknowledging what we feel at this moment in time, and that what we feel and who we are in all of our beauty and our flaws is valid. The key to me is acceptance. It's about treating and greeting yourself with love and compassion on a consistent basis. So we can consistently access that state when we tap into our true power. We're able to acknowledge who we are, what we feel, and what we want without shame. And for me, that's where the journey from the solar plexus kind of moves to the throat chakra and really takes flight, because we're able to speak on what we're actually feeling and speak on what's actually happening within our everyday existence. So I think it's important to really access that in an authentic way, create that space, but be with yourself in a loving and compassionate way so that you can access all the things that Kelly's just talked about from a real place and really know yourself, because you're unique, I'm unique, we're all unique, and we have to appreciate that within ourselves to then build on the next stages and really push ourselves to the next level.
I love it. Oh, Marion, so much gratitude for your presence. And I know you got some tools and tricks and tips for that, too. So she's going to share more of that along the way as well. I think I want to remind you all, to piggyback on that, how we did so much work. Right now, when we look back to reflect, we're looking back to April of 22, when we had our release work in Pisces at the solar plexus. And let me touch on that too. The reason the throat and solar plexus are connected, that's our power, the power of your voice. In my classes, I teach how the root and the crown are connected. What we imagine, what we bring in through the crown from our higher self, we manifest. The root and crown are connected. The creative center and the imagination, third eye, Iwaju, is connected. And our power center and our throat. And then our heart connects above and below. So if the heart is blocked, above and below cannot communicate. So it's almost always we want to open the heart first, and then we can get the upper and lowers communicating. But what was going on? Because then we were releasing the victim archetype, and we were moving through trap number 4, which was the consequence of capture. So for those of you who don't know, on the release side, we had a story theme of the red shoes. And the red shoes story is about a little girl who's homeless and surviving, though. And she finds these little scraps of sparkle or red material, and she makes these homemade red shoes that she loves because she's picked up little trinkets from her travels, and she's just made them herself, so she feels good about that. And she's going about her business. Now, whatever got her there, we don't know. But an old lady in a gilded carriage, a rich old lady, comes along and picks her up and decides she wants to adopt her. And she takes all her clothes, including her favorite red shoes, and burns them because she thinks they're trash. And she puts the little girl in a beautiful white dress and black patent leather shoes and the whole nine and cleans her up. But now she can't play, she can't sing, she can't dance, she can't have her red shoes. And she starts to get hungry for certain stuff that is imbalanced. We're not going to go after the good stuff in those moments. We're going to take whatever we can get. That was what we were clearing out by Venus retrograding through Capricorn and lingering there. It dug up in how we agree to jobs, relationships, situations that we think are going to improve our lives, that we, if we do it just for the money, sometimes it's just for the money, but we do that for the money because we think the money is going to improve our life. And then it actually limits our life. It actually holds us back. That's what we were clearing out in order to get here to the throat chakra in Aries and be able to express a completely new identity, to take your power back and step out on that. and walk your talk at a whole new level. Like I said, your purpose might be just evolving. It's just going to a new level. It doesn't mean anything's ending per se, but there is an old way that's ending, and an old way of being, an old way of expressing, and an old way of doing things that has just basically run its course. So if you can feel, again, how much clearing did you get done then when you became aware of the consequence of capture? Again, we thought we were going into good deals, agreements, partnerships, whatever, and we got in there and it didn't really do what we expected it to do. So now we're going to be more alert. We're going to be more proactive on our own behalf. We're going to activate that self-preservation piece. What's in it for me? Why am I here? What's my motivation? What's my why? You got to know. Otherwise, you're kind of along for the ride of somebody else's thing. And that's also the Aries leadership piece where we just go and do it. Like I said, just start your thing and others will show up. And that's what I also counterbalance with when I say Aries is not going to get any help, because even though they need help and deserve help, it's still, you have to initiate, you have to have your own direct experience when we're talking Aries. Nobody can tell you about that. That's something you have. It's like what I say with my little tagline of healing, education, and soul work are the purest forms of self-love because no one can do them for you. That's all in that zone of Aries. You have to do it yourself. So now this month in particular, we do have our personal council. So those of you who have your Venus activations and those of you who don't, just know I'm trying to figure out a way to create a subscription for just the activations for people who like the horoscope type of things. I got a lot to do, and I got a lot going on, y'all, though. So getting that in form and out to you is in the works. That's all I can tell you. But our council this month up in the sky, so your activations are your personal council. The chart is our sky council. And this month, all 6 entities in Aries. That's a lot, y'all. I only look at 14 positions. That's damn near half. 6 entities in Aries. Moon, Venus, together, doing their thing. Vesta, what is sacred to you, the individual. Jupiter, we're telling a whole new story to the tune of 12 years. Chiron, we're healing an individual aspect of self, also only there every 50 years. And Juno, we're going into partnerships in a way that allows us to stay independent and sovereign and still partner up and benefit from the connection. We love that. All the Aries is showing up in the 3rd house, and we're back to voice and expression and how you express who you are and what you want. So deep breath, and again with learning and teaching, learning who you are and what you want at this new level, these new aspects of self that are evolving. Now across from all that Aries initiating is Libra. The only entity there is Ceres, and it's retrograde. So we're recalibrating things, if I'm not mistaken, across the Virgo and Libra axis. So it went backwards and Libra goes direct in Virgo. So the idea was to recalibrate our relationships and whether they were nurturing and supportive or not, and if they're not, cut them back, so that we could go forward and have more ease and grace and health and well-being in our personal individual systems. We've gotten really out of balance with the nurturing, either not doing it at all for ourselves or doing it too much for other people or whatever that is. We are getting a reset. And when she goes forward, that is going to allow us to only do what our systems will allow us to do so that we honor our nature and we honor our natural systems in our body. Where we're growing and changing is in Cancer Capricorn. And Cancer's in Palace. Also just had a long retrograde. So we're digging up in our instincts again in terms of how to take care of ourselves, that self-care piece, doing some healing of childhood wounds and traumas, but also activating that unique genius that is your gut instincts, your inner empath, that part of you that can feel. So if you're having trouble with feeling, we need to start there and peel back those layers of why you can't feel, how you're numbing out or whatever's going on there. The Capricorn side has got Pluto at 29 degrees, which is the end. This is the end. We are coming up on Pluto dipping into Aquarius and doing a little back and forth over the next year over these final degrees. This is when it gets real deep, y'all, and out of control. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But it's a powerful placement because in our Venus Moon chart for February 22nd, which is 222, a good day, it's in the 1st house of self, of Aries, of the individual. So we are rebirthing on the deepest possible level our new roles and responsibilities at a higher level where, again, we're standing in our power, owning our truth, and living our purpose that way. Marion, you want to tap in and add 2 cents before I go into the story?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think everything you just said was like, yep, I get it, yep, okay, I can see that coming. So it's really affirming to hear you talk about the way that we need to access ourselves, but there's still the healing that's going on at the same time. We still need to be able to access that, and we still need to be able to be authentic and real with ourselves as we go along that journey. I can do a few things now. Okay, so I thought we'd just start with a little bit of just an energy balance exercise. Just for a couple of minutes, so it's not necessarily a breathing exercise, but it's just there to regulate your breathing and your body and connect you to you. So I'd like you to take your right hand and place it over your heart, and take your left hand and place it just below your navel. And if you just want to take a natural deep breath. And what we're doing now is we're just giving ourselves time to just connect with our heart, because that's the seat of compassion for ourselves, which is how we need to approach growth and development, is with strength and purpose, but we also want to access that compassion for ourselves. Just follow the natural rhythm of your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And at this point, we're just creating a little moment for you. A little act of self-care, self-acknowledgement, and self-love. So with your left hand, that's connecting you to your power center. And with your right hand, we're connected to your heart, and we're connecting the two as we breathe in and out. And I just want you to take one last deep breath. And just put your hands together in front of you. Ashe. You can lower your hands, relax, wiggle it out, whatever feels comfortable to you. So that's basically a good balancing exercise. Usually when I do it for at least 5 minutes. If I'm overwhelmed or I'm in a situation with hot-headed people at work, this is great. This will bring me back to myself, and it is a wonderful thing that you can just do at any point in time. So I thought I'd share that with you today. As I was doing that, really, and I was planning today and speaking to you and going over some of the things that Kelly was talking about, I really felt a deep sense of gratitude, when I just sat with myself, when I reconnected back to my body. I think we talk about mind, body, and soul, and it's this kind of fluid term, and it's all interconnected, but our body is one of those things that we don't often connect with. We're often frustrated at it. It's giving us hot flashes. It's, giving us pains at that time of the month. It's not helping our legs get up the stairs when we want them to. And there's often this kind of conflicted relationship, I feel, especially as women, that we have with our bodies. And really, in those moments when I'm able to just sit back and sit with myself and access myself and all the knowledge that is within my body, because our mind tells us things, our soul and our spirit, we're all spiritual people, it is always talking to me, and spirit is always engaging with me, the world around me is always engaging with me. But as I've really gone deeper into my practice and really connected with myself on a deeper level, I've really started this journey of realizing just how much my body is telling me at any given moment in time. The fact that sometimes, I push myself. For those who don't know, I have 4 children. So I'm busy, I'm always on the go, I'm pushing forward. Even though I'm a water sign with Pisces, I have my Aries in Venus, and I've got a lot of fire in my chart. So, I am a pusher, but sometimes I hear my body telling me, you know what, stop. Stop. I can't take it anymore. I need to sit down. I need to rest. But, we're like, come on, I've got things to do. I've got to take the kids to school. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And really, it's about spending that time. And what I now do when I wake up in the morning, I bring myself into my body and I give thanks. I feel my heart beating, the blood around my body. And when I've had a crazy day at work and I feel like I'm about to drop to my knees, I look in the mirror at all the curves and the wrinkles and God knows what else is there. And I say, thank you. Thanks for helping me through this day. Thanks for sustaining me. Thank you for enabling me to do all that I do. And I think of my mind and the nearly 3 times in the day that I might have cussed somebody out but didn't. So, I'm very proud of myself for that. And I thank my mind for helping me not lose my balance for the sake of something that's insignificant. So take the opportunity to start your day, or take a moment out of your day to really appreciate all that you are, because we are mind, we are body, and we are spirit, and we have to interact with all of them in a full and meaningful way to really say we accept ourselves, we know ourselves, we've really committed to that journey of actually doing that work. And when we ask the harder questions, because really, those are just surface level things, this has happened, or I've got a flabby arm or something like that, they're all surface level things. But once you can bring the acceptance to the easy stuff, when we start and do the deeper work that we have been doing, it means we can access it on a much deeper level without having to go through all of the mist and the fog that sometimes we put on ourselves. So I encourage you to give thanks to yourself and walk in line with your purpose. So just looking, I thought it would be nice just to do a little bit of a small exercise just to connect, our solar plexus and our throat chakra with some of the tools, the amazing tools that Kelly has given us. So I don't know if everybody's got the book in front of them or they've got the tools. Do you think it'd be useful for me to read out the keywords, Kelly?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that. So, the Aries keywords. So what I want us to do is really, as I'm reading them, you can do this either on the replay if you're checking in later, or you can do that in your mind or get a pen and paper as we're doing it now. But if you choose maybe 2 or 3 of the words that jump out at you and that feel right and feel like there's something that you should be working with and really working towards at this moment in time, and then we can move forward. So I'll just read the list now. So Aries keywords: independence, assertiveness, energy, courage of your convictions, innocence, overcoming fear of new beginnings, self-acceptance, boldness, authenticity, self-discovery, self-direction, self-reliance, self-sufficiency, desire, initiating, high energy, sex, taking action, survival instincts, taking risks, eagerness, leadership, strength, vigilance, temper, and passion. So if you just want to focus on 2 of those that maybe still stick in your head right now, and I just want you to take a minute, so I'll just go quiet for a minute, and just say maybe one of those words in your head, and just see where it resonates in your body. If you're at home, you can take a bit longer with this and really verbalize it and see where that energy is shifting within your body as you're speaking. So with your thoughts and what you're feeling, again, you might want to go away and do this because it does take a couple of minutes or a bit of time to kind of get what you're truly feeling about this out. I just want you to write a word, write a sentence with that word that expresses your aspirations and how that's working in your life right now and how you want that word to work in your life right now. So what I want you to do, and you can do this either maybe at the beginning of the day, end of the day, whenever your kind of juju moment in the day is. We've all got our different one. When we feel like, yeah, we need that boost or we need that power, I want you to go to a mirror. So it can be a small compact mirror, but you want it to be a little bit away from you, or it can be a tall standing mirror, whichever one you prefer or whichever one you've got. And I just want you to take a step back from that mirror. I want you to stand up, so you want broad shoulders, you want to be flat-footed and firm and in our truth and in our power. And I want you to speak that affirmation or speak what you want to happen. And I want you to blow it into the air in front of you as you look at yourself, affirming that in the mirror. And then what I want you to do is kind of walk into that mist and feel it like, you know, when you spray that old school perfume with the little kind of pipette thing on the end of it and it just mists into the air and you walk into it and you feel it just absorb into your aura and your body and everything. I want you to try that at some point as you're going through the next week and really try and see how you can really embody and connect with that in your everyday existence. So that's a little something you can try over the next week.
Okay. Thank you, Marion. That was pretty juicy and so perfect for Aries, because how often is our Aries energy on the do, go, go, go? How often do we dial it into be and dial it into our individual selves, like she led us into that little zone of feeling your heart, feeling your power, your creative center, and making that connection to you. We need to take more time to do that. I agree. So, deep breath, opening to that which is just for you. We're going to move into the story and the divinations now, and then Marion will close with a beautiful meditation. So, deep breath. Our task this month is facing the wild hag. So, real quick, before I get into it, for those who are listening in or catching the replay, as I told you, our release story was red shoes and how we make these poor bargains thinking we're going to improve our lives. The story that's guiding us on the back end on our reclamation side is Vasilisa the Wise. This is how we're reconnecting to our instincts and intuition, again, to know internally what's going on around us. And this is one of the 9 tasks we have, 8 or 9 tasks that we have to do. We released 9 traps, and now we're reclaiming 9 tasks. And this is the part of the story that is task number 4. In this part of the tale, Vasilisa meets the wild hag face to face. The tasks of this meeting are these: being able to stand the face of the fearsome wild goddess without wavering. That is, facing the image of the fierce mother, meeting up with Baba Yaga, familiarizing oneself with the arcane, the odd, the otherness of the wild. That's by, in the story, she lives in Baba Yaga's house for a little while, bringing some of her values into our lives, thereby becoming ourselves a little odd in a goodly way, learning to face great power in others and subsequently one's own power, letting the frail and too sweet child die back even further. Deep breath. Baba Yaga lives in a house squatting on chicken legs. It whirls and spins when it has a mind to. In dreams, the symbol of house comments on the organization of the psychic space that a person inhabits, both consciously and unconsciously. Ironically, if this story were a compensatory dream, the eccentric house would infer that the subject, in this case Vasilisa, is actually too unremarkable, too middle of the road, and needs to twirl and whirl in order to find out what it's like to dance like a crazy chicken once in a while. Deep breath. Now we can see that the Yaga's house is of the instinctual world, and that Vasilisa needs more of this element in her personality. This chicken-legged house walks about, twirls even, in some hippity-hop dance. This house is alive, bursting with enthusiasm, with joyous life. These attributes are the main fundaments of the archetypal psyche of the wild woman, a joyous and wild life force where houses dance, where inanimates such as mortars fly like birds, where the old woman can make magic, where nothing is what it seems, but for the most part is far better than it seemed to begin with. Vasilisa began with what we might call a flattened-out, mundane personality. It is just this quote-unquote hyper-normalcy that creeps up on us until we have a routine life and a lifeless life without our real meaning to. Okay, we didn't intend to get into these routines, right? We must do something then. We must set out into the woods, go find the scary woman, or else one day, as we are nodding down the road or nodding down the street, a manhole cover will snap open and whoosh, we will be snatched by some unconscious thing that will throw us about like a rag, joyously or otherwise, mostly otherwise, but for a good outcome. Deep breath. The giving of the intuitive doll by the original Sweet Mother is incomplete without the task-giving and testing done by the old Wild One. We need both. Baba Yaga is the marrow of the instinctive and integrated psyche. We know this from her knowledge of all that has gone before. Oh, yes, she says when Vasilisa arrives, I know of you and your people. Further, as in her other incarnations as the Mother of Days and Mother Night, a life-death-life goddess, old Baba Yaga is the keeper of the sky and earth being, day, rising sun, and night. She calls them my day, my night. Deep breath. Baba Yaga is fearsome, for she represents the power of annihilation and the power of the life force at the same time. To gaze into her face is to see the eyes of blood, the perfect newborn child, and the wings of angels all at once. Vasilisa stands there and accepts this wild mother divinity, wisdom, warts and all. One of the most remarkable facets of the Yaga portrayed in this tale, she does not hurt Vasilisa as long as Vasilisa affords her respect. Respect in the face of great power is a crucial lesson. A woman must be able to stand in the face of power because ultimately some part of that power will become hers. Vasilisa faces Baba Yaga not obsequiously, not boastfully, or filled with braggadocio, neither running away nor hiding. She presents herself honestly and just as herself. Many women are in recovery from their nice complexes, wherein no matter how they felt, no matter who assailed them, they responded so sweetly as to be practically fattening. Though they might have smiled kindly during the day, at night they gnashed their teeth like brutes. The Yaga in their psyches was fighting for expression. Deep breath. This too nice over-adaptation in women or in people often occurs when they are desperately afraid of being disenfranchised or found, quote-unquote, unnecessary. Two of the most poignant dreams I've ever heard concerned a young woman who definitely needed to be less tame. The first dream was that she inherited a photo album, a special one with pictures of the wild mother. How happy she was until the next week when she dreamed that she opened a similar album and there was a horrid old woman looking back at her. The hag was possessed by mossy teeth and had black Beetlejuice running down her chin. Her dream is typical of women who are recovering from being too sweet. The first dream demonstrates one side of the wild nature, the benign and bountiful, and all that is well with her world. But when the mossy wild woman is presented to her, well, could we put this off for a little while? The answer is no. The unconscious, in its brilliant way, is offering this dreamer an idea about a new way of living that is not just the two-toothed frontal smile of the too nice woman. To face this wild and creative power in ourselves is to gain access to the myriad faces of the subterranean feminine. Deep breath. These belong to us innately, and we must choose to inhabit whichever one serves us best at whichever time. Deep breath. In this initiation drama, Baba Yaga is instinctive nature in the guise of the witch. Like the word wild, the word witch has come to be understood as a pejorative, but long ago it was an appellation given to both old and young women healers. The word wit deriving from the word wit, meaning wise. This was before cultures carrying the one God-only religious image began to overwhelm the older pantheistic cultures, which understood the deity through multiple religious images of the universe and all its phenomena. But regardless, the ogress, the witch, the wild nature, and whatever the creatures and integral aspects of the culture finds awful in the psyches of women are the very blessed things which women often need most to retrieve and bring back to the surface. Deep breath. A good deal of literature on the subject of women's power states that men are afraid of women's power. I always want to exclaim, Mother of God, so many women themselves are afraid of women's power. For the old feminine attributes and forces are vast, and they are formidable. It is understandable that the first time they come face to face with the old wild powers, both men and women take one anxious look and make tracks. All you see of them is flying paw pads and frightened tails. If men are going to ever learn to stand it, then without a doubt, women have to learn to stand it. If men are ever going to understand women, women are going to have to teach the configurations of the wild feminine to them. To this end, the dream-making function of the psyche carries the Yaga and all her cohorts right into women's bedrooms at night through the dream time. If we are lucky, the Yaga will leave her big, broad footprints in the carpet at our bedside. She will come to peer at those who do not know her. If we are late to our initiations, she wonders why we do not come to visit her and comes to visit us in night dreams instead. Ooh, deep breath. One woman dreamed of women in long, ragged nightgowns, happily eating things you would never find on a restaurant menu. Another woman dreamed of an old woman in the shape of an old clawfoot bathtub that rattled its pipes and threatened to burst them unless the dreamer knocked out the wall so that the tub could quote-unquote see better. A third woman dreamt that she was one of 3 blind old women, except she kept losing her driver's license and had to keep leaving her group in order to search for it. In a sense, it could be said that she had difficulty remaining identified with the 3 fates, the powers which guide life and death in the psyche. But in time, she too learned to stand it, learned to stay close to what she once feared, her own wildish nature. All these creatures in dreams remind the dreamer of their elemental life, the Yaga self, the enigmatic and intense power of the life-death-life mother. Yes, we are saying that to be Yaga-ish is good, and that we must be able to stand it. To be strong does not mean to sprout muscles and flex. It means meeting one's own numinosity without fleeing, actively living with the wild nature in one's own way. It means to be able to learn, to be able to stand what we know. It means to stand and live. So as Aries would say, just do it. Just be yourself and let the chips fall where they may, is always the message of Aries. And I know it takes us a couple of extra years past 30 to really embody that. But you get past 50 and it is done, totally done. Now our divinations were pretty juicy too. We have the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards that we're working with because each card is a different culture's ancestral wisdom. This year we were looking for way more diversity, and we want to consider looking back at indigenous cultures for their wisdom on how to survive on this planet because it's getting a little nutty out here. And don't you know, we pulled balance yourself, you the individual. And the keywords are direction, growth, and life stages. The culture is now I might mess this up, Nehayawak Cree Indian culture. For the Nehayawak, First Nation peoples of Canada, Also known as Cree, C-R-E-E, the medicine wheel represents the foundations of life. And in your PDF, you can see these cards. Each year, each lesson, each life is in constant motion through the 4 phases depicted by the medicine wheel. Its philosophy extends to the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and can help one understand their place in the universe, as well as how they are linked to all living beings, all living things. The 4 aspects of the medicine wheel are interwoven, and its underlying message is one of wholeness, balance, natural cycles, and relationship. The Cree consult the medicine wheel for guidance, healing, purpose, and insight. Each of the quadrants relates to a direction, a season, a color, and a life stage. East is spring, red, the sun rising, new beginnings in life, feelings, childhood, and emotions. South is summer, yellow, the sun at its highest point in the sky, adolescence, being active, and relationships. West is autumn, black, the setting sun, adulthood, and its responsibilities, introspection, and reflection. North is winter, white, the dark of night, midnight, maturity, the thinkers and teachers in the community, decision-making, and deeper understanding. The ancestors say each part of your life contributes to the whole of who you are. The strength you draw from one area of your life can help you manage another. However, it is now time to reflect and address an imbalance. Weigh up how much time and energy you devote to your health, finances, career, relationships, personal interests, and all other aspects of your life. Once you have identified the areas that need your focus, make a plan to restore balance. Nurture your whole self, mind, body, emotions, and spirit. Divinatory meaning says, look at the worlds around you. Pay attention to the energy of Mother Earth, the seasons, the sun, and the moon. Consider how the patterns of nature affect you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and how they relate to the cycles. The medicine wheel supports your transition from one phase to the next. Bring your focus inward to grow, transform, release, and embrace a new stage or new aspect of yourself. Deep breath. That's perfect for Aries energy. You know, as we speak, I guess we're going to be going into Pisces first, but Venus moves a little faster, so it's getting ahead of us. And then our guidance for this month was Daughter of Air, Self-Liberation. And when I asked for clarity on that, I got the Emperor, Grandfather Protection. So we have to do things ourselves, but we also have to embrace and activate that masculine side of us that can negotiate on our own behalf, get our ideas in the world, and hold good boundaries. So deep breath. The key words for Daughter of Air are self-liberation, emancipation, freedom-loving spirit, awakening intuition, tuning into one's own power, confusion between thoughts and gut feelings, deep breath. The inner message. Your inner Amazon now wants to find a clearly defined direction. She refuses to stay submissive. She insists on being fully herself, whatever it may cost. A profound longing for your own inner truth demands your undivided attention. You are well on the way to finding yourself. Outward manifestation says, with awareness and a little skill, you can steer the immense powers of your feminine energies in a positive direction and understand their nature more deeply than ever. First, drop all negative judgments about your apparent shortcomings. Your energy turns acidic when you insist on maintaining a fixed position with too much vehemence or too much emotion behind it, right? Wild mental horses will drag you away as long as you don't know how to tame them with love. So stay alertly flexible. This reminds me a lot of what Marion covered. Power of confirmation, I love it. But we also have this power of protection from grandfather energy or grandmother energy, I would say. Either one is probably good. But we're calling in the masculine side of it. The generous benefactor, ruling by serving, position of responsibility. We're getting ready to step into who we are and what we want at a new level, that identity and purpose going to a new level. Help in moments of need. I mean, we can call it in. I could be wrong. Aries can get some help. Don't get it twisted. But it's one of the lessons very often. Wisdom, elevation, nobility, courage, authority, and reliability. Let's call all that in for our self-preservation. The power of the grandfather is always alive within us. As soon as you recollect this part of yourself, its qualities are yours. The grandfather may also represent the physical father you never had or who was not there for you. Generally, he stands for the ability to take matters into your own hands while granting your inner child the certainty that it will be protected and well taken care of. He represents the power of the grown man who has welcomed and integrated his feminine side. This makes him an inwardly complete unit. Ashe. His intentions are no longer divided, so he can use his full authority for the benefit of beings everywhere. The outward manifestation says, drawing the grandfather to you signifies that it is time to stop hiding your inherent strengths. Reveal them for all the world to see. Respect your inner authority and exude it, even at work. True responsibility is a responsiveness to life. Do not hide from this. You have gathered enough experiences and realizations. Now use them for your benefit and that of everyone else. The ability to grant spiritual as well as material help and protection to others is a tremendous gift. Remember the generosity of the buffalo. He gives of himself and continuously emanates his strength. You too must give away without hesitation what the Great Spirit has bestowed on you in its infinite generosity. Ashe. So, the last thing is just for you to also have the keywords for our meditation. I hope this ties in well with you, Marion. Is the seeker keywords are curiosity, again, courage of your convictions, fearlessness, self-inquiry, authenticity, innocent child heart, identity, desires, direction, again, initiations, proactive on your own behalf, self-respect, self-trust, connection to intuition and instincts, reverence, visionary activist, and lead by example. Deep breath. The facing the wild hag keywords were expand your repertoire of responses. Okay, we want to expand our repertoire. We have other ways that we can respond to stimuli from outside ourselves. Owning the truth of who you are and what you want. Own it. Aries owns it. No shame in their game, honey. Self-respect again. Trailblazer. Dare to be different. Effective language. Right timing. Feminine power. The elemental self. And a feminine standpoint of view. Or standpoint or view, I should say. So deep breath. Let's carry those buzzwords into our meditation of what we're calling forth to support us this month as we navigate this energy and prepare to rebirth something. Again, things are starting to come into form. This is the time where we're going to activate it. And so I just want to thank everyone, including Marion, who is a Venus Circle member, y'all. So I love when you all step up and want to share your gifts with the rest of the circle. And I'm grateful to the extended family of the Power Circle where we are going to share these and put them up on the podcast channel and the YouTube channel so that everyone can get what they need as we move into summertime. But come on in, Marion, and take us home.
Okay, so I thought it'd be really nice for us to end with the mountain meditation, because the mountain meditation is all about standing firm, acknowledging yourself, your identity, who you are, and not being wavered by that, and really standing in your purpose and your strength, which is that awesome Aries energy that we're all bathing in at the moment, and we're all fired towards action after Kelly's wonderful insight. So thank you. Okay, so I'll try and keep this to around 8 minutes, but if you just want to take a deep breath, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you're sitting comfortably and lying comfortably. So I really want you to start by paying attention to your breathing, noticing the inhale and the exhale of the breath, following the natural rhythm of your body. Just allowing it to be the way that it is naturally. I want you to allow your body to be still and peaceful. And know at this moment that no one wants anything and no one needs anything. Just sit in that sense of complete wholeness. So I'd like you to begin to bring into your awareness the image of a beautiful mountain. It could be one that you know or one that's familiar. Or it could just be one that's in your imagination that you've just created at this moment in time, just for you. And I want you to get a sense of just how strong and majestic that mountain is, and for the shape, its lofty peaks. And if its peaks rise high into the sky. And then thinking about the base rooted in the bedrock of the Earth's crust that holds us all every day. Its steep or gently sloping sides. Noticing how big it is, how solid it is, how unwavering it is, how beautiful it is. Whether you're up close or whether you're afar. Maybe your mountain has snow trickling on the top. Maybe there's trees around it. Maybe it's rugged. Maybe it's smooth. Maybe there's a beautiful stream or waterfall trickling down the side. And maybe one peak, there may be two, and there may be even great lakes nearby, maybe even a cabin. And in this moment, I want you to know its qualities. Deep breath. And now just see if you can bring the mountain into your body, right here, right now, where you are. So that your body and the mountain in your mind's eye become one. So that as you sit here, you share in the massiveness, the majestic stillness of the mountain. You are becoming, and you are the mountain. So as you're grounded, sitting or lying down, your head becomes the lofty peak, supported by the rest of the body and afforded a beautiful panoramic view. Your shoulders and arms are the side of the mountain. Your buttocks and legs are the solid base, rooted to your chair or your bed or your sofa. I want you to experience in your body at this moment a sense of being uplifted from deep within, from your pelvis, from your spine. And with each breath, as you continue, become a little more a breathing mountain, alive and full of life, yet unwavering in your inner stillness. And just completely what you are, beyond words, thoughts, completely centered, grounded, and immoving in your presence. So I want you to become aware of the fact that the sun travels across the sky. The light and shadows and colors are also changing, almost moment by moment, in the mountain's stillness, in your stillness. There's streams, melting snow, waterfalls, plants, and wildlife. as the mountain and as you continue to sit, seeing and feeling how night follows day and day follows night. There's a bright, warm sun with a cool, gentle breeze. Through all of this, the mountain just sits, experiencing change in each moment. Constantly changing, yet still always being itself. It remains still as the seasons flow one into another, and as the weather changes moment by moment, day by day. In some seasons, it may find itself at times surrounded by clouds and fog, or pelleting or freezing rain. People may come to see the mountain and comment on how beautiful it is, or how it's not a good day to see the mountain, that it's too cloudy or rainy or foggy. None of that matters to the mountain, which remains at all times its essential self. Clouds may come and clouds may go. Tourists may like it or not. The mountain's magnificence and beauty are not changed one bit by whether people see it or not, seen or unseen in clouds or sun. Day or night, it just sits being itself. As spring comes, trees leaf out, the flowers bloom in the high meadows and the slopes. Birds start to sing in the trees once again. Streams overflow with the waters of melting snow. And through it all, the mountain continues to sit, unmoved by the weather, unmoved by the surface, by the world of appearances, still remaining its essential self. So in the same way as we sit with ourselves, being the mountain, embodying the mountain, we can learn that the experiences of the mountain, we can embody the same central principles of unwavering stillness and groundedness in the face of everything that life has to throw in our direction. Of the seconds, of the hours, of the years, we remain our true selves. And this is a time to just sit with yourself and really appreciate the strength, the power, the beauty, all that is within you at this moment in time. And feel free to come back, shake your arms, your legs, whenever you feel ready.
Oh my goodness, that was so delicious. I want to stay on the mountain. But anyone who wants to pop in and ask a question, again, I thank everyone for being with us in the afternoon as we bridge many dimensions of time between us. I'm so grateful, Marion. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing that beautiful meditation. I will cut it out so that we can come back to it anytime. That will be a fun bonus goodie. And I will send you all of her contact information, her website, and the offerings she's got. And we will do this again next month, y'all. So think of dropping in. I believe, tell me now, who is my guest for next month? I finally have them all ready to go. Actually, I listed them on the website, so you all can check that Circle Up page on my website. March is Carmen Harris of Freeform Liberation, another Reiki master. April is Nasa Bawa. We're doing the love class. We got a lot going on. So Marion's got some stuff to share. I got some stuff to share, and that'll all be in the postcode goodies. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Marion, thank you again, and we'll be in touch. So much love and gratitude.
Thanks, everyone.